Crystal Palace have just shocked the world. FA Cup winners over Manchester City. And now, I'm taking the reins. Over the next 10 years in Football Manager, we're rebuilding the Eagles, aiming for Premier League glory and that exclusive Champions League title. But it won't be easy. Tight budgets, fierce rivals, and of course the pressure of turning one cup success into a dynasty. And a little fun fact, did you know Palace once shared Selhurst Park with both Charlton and Wimbledon? Yeah, they're used to making space for others, but today, I'm not making space for anyone. We're winning the lot. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment below what you want to see next. Let's get into it. Fly high Eagles. So then, Crystal Palace in the game, and I've been looking forward to this because I'm not a Crystal Palace fan, I'm a United fan, but I think it's hard to hate Crystal Palace. They've just got something about them as a club that I really, really like, and big success this season, winning that FA Cup, and of course, if we actually look at them in the game, they don't yet have that in their trophy cabinet. They've just got the 2 Sky Bet Championships and whatever these cups are here. So, nothing too crazy to be honest with you. As a club, they have got a 3.5-star reputation. Of course, they haven't won too many trophies to justify being above that. At the end of this video, I would like to at least think we can get them to 4.5 star. The training facilities are going to be sitting at 3.5 star. In my opinion, that's actually quite good. Very good youth facilities, decent youth recruitment. The owners love the club. The finances are okay, but they're not exactly perfect. And with a team like Palace, you never expect like mega money. You're sort of expecting your 30 to 40 million pounds sort of per season windows, which is fine, but you're not going to get anywhere too quickly with that sort of money. Now, for the first season, we don't have the pressure of obviously any European football. We are playing purely in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and obviously the Premier League, where we are predicted to finish inside of 12th place. Now, I think, to be honest with you, I'm going to show you the tactic in a second and the team that we've got. I think top 10 is more than achievable in season 1. If I want to be a bit cocky, I'd say top 7, but I'll say a guaranteed top 10 unless something goes seriously wrong. And I mean seriously wrong. Because looking at this team on paper, first of all, if you are interested in using this tactic, it was a tactic from the main channel, and you want to get all of these perks, including the rebuild file, access to big monthly giveaways, and so much more, make sure you come and check out the Patreon, where currently we're pushing towards 5,500 members. And if you want to be one of the few that get to enter the £1,000 PayPal giveaway, make sure you come over and get involved. But looking at this tactic on paper, it's your typical free back. A bit attacking, a little bit out there. We've got 2 AMs to provide creativity. We've got a good finisher in the Ketia. We have actually got some really good players, in my opinion. This man is one man I want to talk about, because in the game, I have signed him countless times, and he always returns me a golden 20. A 20-goal season. That's what I want from him, you know, that consistency. 20 goals a season, I'm more than happy with. Anything above that, I'm ecstatic with. So, genuinely, if he can provide that, we're going to be in such a good place going into the season. It's absolutely unbelievable. And to help him achieve that, we have got 2 very good attacking AMs. We've got Eze on the right-hand side. You know Eze. You watch English football. You know what he's got about him. Technical, good on the ball, dangerous, threat. You know, a real star-studded player for this Palace team, and quite nice to see that hopefully he's going to have a bit of loyalty about him and stay at the club, because Palace, I think, are in genuinely quite a good place. So I'm going to try and win him a few more trophies that he has done in his current career, because he is now, what, 25? He's in his prime right now. These are the trophy-winning years. Kamada's not a bad player either, 26 years of age. Of course, former Frankfurt man. For any Bundesliga viewers, you would have been used to seeing him over there. He is also quite a good player as well. Is he as good as Eze? No. No, he's not, but he will do the job for a couple of seasons. But if you clicked on this video, you would have seen the thumbnail. You know who I'm going after. So if you haven't, it will be a surprise. If you did click on the thumbnail and actually looking at the player, you know who we're going after, but that might be in dreamland. Going over to the midfield in the deeper area, Doucouré offers a really solid midfield option, 23 years of age. And again, is he world class? No. Is he guaranteed to be in the Premier League winning team? Potentially not. But for now, he is more than good enough. Adam Wharton, one of the hottest signed prospects in Football Manager. Again, a player that can cost you upwards of 80 million past season 1. So a big addition to the team. And once again, he is going to have a big shot in this team to prove himself. When I say that, he is going to have probably 2 or 3 seasons to build on his current ability and secure that place in the team. I am here to win trophies, not to make friends with the players. So at the end of the day, if he's not good enough, he will be replaced, he can be rotation, and it's as simple as that. I'm here to win trophies. That is something these lads have got to understand very, very quickly. Ben Chilwell at left back is an absolute joy to have on loan. Will I sign him permanently? Probably no, for two reasons. One, I think for the price would pay for him, we could probably get a younger option. And secondly, we simply most likely won't be able to afford him. So for a season, I will use his services more than happily. But even if we didn't have him, we've got Mitchell, who is a very good left back inside of Football Manager. His only weakness is the crossing, which is a bit of an issue in this tactic because we heavily rely on the wing back pushing up and putting a ball in. You look at Ben Chilwell, he's got 15 crossing, 5 better. It's quite a big upgrade. So Ben Chilwell most likely will actually get a ton of game time. Munoz on the right-hand side can also deliver a ball. He's currently a championship player, which I think is a bit harsh because he looks relatively quite good. But I mean, of course, we have got backups. We've got Nathaniel Klein, and obviously Mitchell on the left-hand side. Centre-back-wise, we've got Gurhey, one of the hottest FM prospects, LaCroix and Richards, and Dean Henderson in goal. And let's not forget, we have got also this man, who is currently injured, but potentially has got some good growth in him, but he is very 50-50 on Football Manager. We have Rob Holding, Edouard, Amada, and Schlupp out on loan. Realistically, Amada, Holding and Schlupp are guaranteed to be sold if I can get rid of them. As for Edouard, I'm going to see who does better out of him. And obviously, where is he? The golden boy, Mateta. Because they're going to be your backup strikers, and I don't need two. So I'm going to pick who's the better one and sell the other player. We also have Riyadh. Let's not forget about Riyadh, another very good upcoming centre-back. Sarr, does he work in this team? I don't think so. Probably going to be on the transfer list, not being blunt. Lerma, Hughes, Ward. I mean, it's an okay team. The first team, I like. The bench, I can take or leave. The bench isn't great, I'll be honest, but that's why we're here. So we're here for a decade. So let's get into season 1. We've got a lot of work to do. And as I said, I'm predicting a finish inside of the top 10. But if you want me to be cocky, top 7. Oh, well. We're going to be cocky. We are going to finish in the top 7. And it is really nice to see the man that I give so much credit to in Eddie Nketiah has come out and nearly the top goal scorer. He's only 2 goals behind Erling Haaland, which is quite some sentence to come out of my mouth. The fact that he is a second top goal scorer. Apart from him, nobody else is going to be in there. Like, no one else, even in yellow cards, which I wouldn't want, but even we've not got a player in there. He single-handedly may have carried us to a 7th place finish. In terms of the actual results, though, I mean, we picked up points from 25 games. I don't think that's too bad. I don't know if I'm being delusional. I don't think that's too bad. I mean, you play 38 games, obviously. If you said to me, Josh, start of the season, you can have 25 games where you'll guarantee points, I'd bite your hand off. So I'm not going to be annoyed in the slightest. It is a very, very strong first season. Liverpool ran away with the league towards the end, so congratulations to them. Man United finishing 14th, so somewhat realistic. Leicester, Bournemouth and Southampton go down. Who can I have from them teams? Bournemouth, you obviously got Zabrani. Oh yeah, we could have a good field day here. They're going to have some good players that hopefully want to come to a Palace side. Now, in terms of the rest of the cups, not pretty. Quarter-final exit in the Carabao Cup, we are going to lose 1-0 to Brighton. And when it actually comes to the FA Cup, a 5th round exit to Bournemouth 1-0. So the English Cups didn't go anywhere near as well as they did in real life, but also we done better in the Premier League. So I'm hoping, based off that, we can get a little bit of money. Okay, that's more like it. 58 million. I said to you way before, I'm expecting 30 millions, 38 millions, that sort of vibe, you know. 58 million, I will take and run away with. Now, what I will say is, in terms of the squad, let's look at some contracts coming up. So, Ben Chilwell, I imagine actually had quite a good season. He had a very, very good season. But if we go onto his profile and actually either inquire, we can't afford 50 million. So, sadly, goodbye to Ben Chilwell. Matt Turner, he played 2 games. The fact is 29. And they want how much for him? 15 million. I can probably get a better backup goalkeeper for a lot less money, so I'm going to let him go. We're now going to go ahead and transfer list Joel Ward, Nathaniel Klein, Jeffrey Schlupp, Matthews, Hughes, Holding, not Kamada, but this and upwards. So again, that's a little bit more money we potentially could add into the team. The good thing about this rebuild with this team is the decisions sort of become quite obvious. Like, we're not going to offer a contract to Joel Ward, Klein, Schlupp, Matthews or Will Hughes. And these two loanee options, one I would happily have in Ben Chilwell, but we can't afford him. What I will say is, in terms of return stats, Nketiah got the 23 goals, Mateta scored 4, Lerma 1 and 6, that's pretty cool to see. Out on loan, Edouard scored 7 and 2 assists. This guy had a very good time at Leicester. Obviously, they're in the Premier League as well, in a worse off place, so he's getting worse service, a tougher time to get goals, potentially the better option compared to Mateta for a backup, which is quite interesting. But what I'm trying to say here, essentially, is we're not got ridiculous stat lines, okay? You know, we've got one player with 20 goals, then it's 12 and 12, you know, it's not ridiculous. And I imagine if you look, that's actually quite a good sign. We're 7th best and 7th best. So we are exactly where we belong in the Premier League. It's not like we've got lucky with a couple of results and we're 11th best at scoring, 15th best at conceding, and we've had a lucky season. Based off these stats, that is where we are as a team. And I am happy with that because it gives me a clear foundation that this team just needs a gradual build-up of quality. And that's what I come in for. So let's get into Season 2. After a very good first season, or Season 1, get into Season 2. Let's get cracking. £8 million, we are going to finally say goodbye to Will Hughes. Now, he's played his entire career in England, so nothing but respect for the guy, a proper local lad. And at the end of the day, the fact we can turn a £1 million profit on him is really, really strong. And the fact he went and had a great season at Ipswich is very, very nice to see. But in this team, his time's done. 0.9 million, we are going to offload Jeffrey Schlupp. He's going to get a move to Blackburn for 4 million. So we are going to lose a little bit of money from him. But at the end of the day, the guy is now, what, 32? He still looks somewhat okay, but we've got to factor in a short contract. I didn't want to offer him a big, big contract to stay. And I'll take any money we can get back. And a little fun fact, I never knew he could play box to box. Never knew it. An absolute steal in terms of 1, versatility, 2, experience, and 3, well, the price. 18 million for Kyle Walker-Peters. 23 appearances, 1 goal, 3 assists. He is what I call a fill-in player. He will be here to obviously fill in right back and left back, and he is 28, so he's been brought in for the next maybe 3 years before we can afford these really good new gems that will cost me 60, 70 million. So this guy is the perfect sign-in for Press. Oh yeah, we've got him, and it did take some installments. Welcome in Desiree Doué. He's going to come in from PSG. I lock him in, and he has a decent season. 3 goals, 5 assists. I mean, it's pretty decent. Some would say they want more from him, but this guy is now going to be he's going to be the player I build the team around. He has been, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most fun players to watch in world football this year. I'm going to lock him in as much as I can, build the team around him. One thing that I will never promise is that he will be locked in for the rest of the seasons from now till the end. If he doesn't perform, which I highly doubt will happen, he will be obviously just put into the team and he can get game time when and if he can. But for the next 3 or 4 years, this guy's getting a special treatment because I think we can build a team all around him. And we have now got Eze, Doué, Nketiah up front. It's electric. The future Man City man is going to sign for Crystal Palace instead. We are going to pick up 8 Nori for a total of 35 million, plays a ton of games, and you know what? 23 years of age, the guy potentially could be here for the rest of the rebuild. I like what you get with him. He's got good tackling, good flair, good crossing, good dribbling, good pace. He is probably the perfect Man City player, can play inverted as well, so I can see why City want him. He really does suit their team, but it's a big window, £102 million spent, a fair bit of instalments being done. Let's not forget we did generate £10 million here. We also had quite a big budget as well, but Doué was the instalment man, being honest, so we might have a bit of a quieter window next year, but considering the thumbnail, this guy was essential to get in early doors. He had a very good run in the Europa League, right, okay? We actually finished in the semi-final, where we do play Atalanta. They're a very, very good Italian team. And if we got to the final, we would have played Aston Villa, which I don't know if we can actually see that game. They went on to lose, which does surprise me. But it's not a bad first time in Europe, in my opinion. Who did we get past in the quarterfinals? Bayer Leverkusen 6-3. That's good. And also Dynamo 4-1. So we played a couple of tough teams for the team that we've got right now. And honestly, I'm quite happy with that. The FA Cup is not going to improve. A fourth round exit, a 1-0 loss to Brighton. The Carabao Cup final off to Wembley against Manchester United, and we get off to a absolute flying start. It is going to be an awful bit of defending from United, a 1-0 lead inside of 5 minutes, and surely, are we about to recreate an English Cup win? Well, don't celebrate yet. Kobbie Mainoo is going to take on a load of players here, a ball through into Joshua Zirkzee, and that is going to be a 1-1 tie game before the second half begins. And sadly for us, we go on to lose our first cup final appearance against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup with none other than Samuel Lino. We improve in the Premier League and we are going to get European football again, a 5th place finish and 2 points off Champions League football. And what's really good to see right now is Dean Henderson has got the most clean sheets. Now, we did improve the backline, of course, with Ait-Nouri, and also Kyle Walker-Peters, so that probably did help. Nketiah up there with Haaland again, so our players are really putting up some key stat lines, and as an overall season, 7th place in the Premier League, runners-up in the Carabao Cup, a 4th round exit in the FA Cup, semi-finalists in the Europa League. To be honest with you, there's not many negatives from the season. I mean, I think we've not been embarrassed in any of them. Even this one here, the 4th round against Brighton. Yes, they finished 12th place, but they've got European football. So did they go on to actually win that FA Cup potentially? How did they get European football? Someone let me know in the comments, but I might be being done. But they've got European football some way or another. They might have got it last year, got conference, something like that. So at the end of the day, I think that's a very, very acceptable season. Money-wise, yeah, it's fine. Do you know what? It's completely fine. I spent big last season. I spent mega money. Next season is going to be a bit quiet. It's my fault. I spent a lot of money, and to be fair, I don't deserve to go and spend that amount of money again. I'm not saying we haven't done well with the signings, but you can't have back-to-back 100 mil windows with a Crystal Palace team. So do a 6-10, a decent first season, but the team that you see on paper right now is going to be the same team most likely, what you're going to see next year, unless we can go and get some free signings. So we'll cut to the third transfer window. Don't be surprised if we go right into the third season results, because with 13 million, considering we've also got to get some new contracts offered out, we're not going to have much money. So I've made my decision, and we are going to keep Mateta. Edouard is going to get a move to the Saudi League for £14 million. So we nearly recover every single penny that we spent where we got him from Celtic. So, I mean, it's a very good recovery in terms of money. It frees up some wage as well. He's got a fat wage increase, by the way. And you know what? It's nice to see players actually get sold instead of just leave on the free or contract expire. We're also going to cash in 2.9 million on David. Now, again, 21 years of age, might have a bit of potential, but wasn't showing me enough. So I thought, you know what? Go to Bournemouth, carry on your career. I can get 2.9 million in the bank, free up some wage. Goodbye. And that did give us some money. On top of our transfer budget, we actually were able to go out and afford Mika Marmol, coming in from Madrid for 30 million. Now, we didn't play a game because I signed him too late. It was sort of a mid-season job. I couldn't register him, so he's only really got cup games under his belt. But what I will say is, he still is fine to go into the next season, and we've now got this thing of pretty much we have basically going to have a fresh new signing for our next transfer window, because it will be like another player to add to the team. So it's quite a good thing as long as we don't collapse this season. Otherwise, the plan's not worked. Who I did register in time is going to be Biomo. He's going to come in from Las Palmas for a grand total of 10 million, an absolute bargain release clause, and a good player, you know, a decent Premier League player, 24 years of age, consistent, quite quick on the ball. He's got good tackling, good marking, good heading. Is he world class? No. Is he what I can afford? Yes. So we have improved the team at the back with one new centre-back in the Premier League, but across the cup games, we also do have Mika Marmol. So I'm hoping we might even get a bit of cup success. This would have been a statement for our first season in the Champions League. We get to the semi-final, which is way above my expectation. A 4-2 loss to AC Milan, but the fact is we could have been in a Champions League final in our first time of asking, so I am going to take that. And I mean, we must have beaten some pretty big teams. Man City 1-0. I will take a scrappy 1-0. We then go and beat Atletico 7-2. That's an absolute thumping. Do we play this as well? We don't, so we must have... Wow. We went invincible in our first asking in the Champions League phase. Are we we might be a European team. We might honestly, based off this alone, we might win a Champions League before we win a Premier League. And that would be something special. The FA Cup, we can't quite get to the grasp with. I mean, it's another semi-early exit, this time against Bristol City 2-1. And it's a rematch. The Carabao Cup final at Wembley against United. And I want revenge. I want this trophy and I want it badly. And that is going to be a great start from the Ketia into Wharton to make it 1-0 inside of 20 minutes. And we're going again. The Eagles are flying and we have got a big chip on our shoulder. What happened last year was not something I want to repeat of. Doué strikes it. And that is going to be a 2-0 lead in 42 minutes. This team is not here to play. But also, we've got to remember, we are playing Manchester United, and when De Ligt can play a ball like that over to Ahmad, and he's going to cut it back inside into Højlund, the game gets interesting. 3 goals in the first half, we do lead 2-1, but this is where Palace really have to show why they are called the Eagles. Does that even make sense? I don't think it does, but we're showing something. It is going to be a very early dive from Onana, and it is going to be an easy goal there from the Ketia to make it 3-1, and we go on to win and lift this Carabao Cup final 4-1 from a ball in from Mitchell here, a bit of a deflection into Doué, into Eze. How lovely. That is right, we have won our first piece of silverware, the Carabao Cup over United. We lost it last year against them, as you can see right now. They get to another final, to be fair, but this time, it's coming our way. It's coming our way. The Premier League, a bit of a drop-off. It says we actually qualify for the Conference League, which is interesting. It's a bit of a drop-off from 5th place, but again, it's 6 points. It's not the end of the world. Does winning an English trophy slightly sweeten the blow? Yes, because obviously Palace, the whole thing with them winning the trophy was just the gap they've had without one, the history it brings to the club. So winning an English trophy is massive for me, massive for the club. We've still got so many years to play, so much ambition. The Champions League is looking really strong. Semi-finalists in that, by the way, so a very, very strong season. Money-wise, we are going to have a budget of 2.8 million. I don't think that's been updated yet, so don't worry too much with that one. But the players have got to be happy with. Doué enjoyed a great season, played a big part in that cup final as well. Nketiah had a great season. Eze had an immaculate season, as did Decore and Wharton. The wingbacks are being... I mean, Ait-Nouri's doing quite well in terms of the assists. Walker-Peters maybe a little bit more I want from him. On the bench, 11 and 5 for Doué. Munoz 4 and 10. That, of course, is our right back with 14 goal contributions. You've then got Mateta with 5 and 2, which is good for a backup striker. And at the end of the day, if we do have a budget like this, you probably won't see a single signing. But I'm just hoping it's not been updated yet. So, do you know what? I'm relatively happy. I mean, we've now been doing this for how many seasons? We've had 1, 2, 3 seasons, and it's been a bit up and down. 7th, 5th, back to 7th. But this season, we do also win this. So I think we are doing quite well. We're on track. Let's get into the next season. Keep riding this very, very interesting roller coaster. I can't quite believe it. Now, I'm going to look at this in 2 ways, okay? Because firstly, he snaked me. Because the guy had a new contract not long ago. Gurhi is going to go to PSG for 72 million. Now, let me tell you one thing, okay? Firstly, it's serious money to bring back into the club. It now justifies my Doué signing. It's paid for that, so that's fine now. We've balanced the books out somewhat. We've got a lot of money back into the club, and I think I'm going to be quite sensible and not go and spend this money at all. I do need a new goalkeeper as backup because our backup goalkeeper left, so I do need that at bare minimum. But the fact we have lost Gurhi this early on, this can knock us back a lot in the Premier League and the Champions League and every other cup. He was our star man at the back, and now he's a man in France. What I have done is loan in Petrovic and get him permanently as a backup goalkeeper. The loan fee was 3 million, the permanent deal is 9 million, so very cheap for a good backup Premier League proven goalkeeper who might even get first team over Henderson until we can afford that really good young goalkeeper. This was an essential signing. We physically did actually need him. He didn't play too many games for us this season, but without a backup goalkeeper, no one, my luck, would need one. So you look at what we profited, what we brought, I mean, it's serious money back into the club. Money's brilliant, but I mean, it's not brilliant if you finish outside the top 10, is it? Let's go and see. Before we even talk about the actual Premier League, we got to the Europa League Conference Final, or the Europa Conference Final, not the Europa League Conference Final, and we're going to go 1-0 up against a Lazio team, which, to be honest, probably were the hardest team left in the competition. Past the quarterfinals, they were the hardest team. So, I mean, we got quite a tough final, but with the players we have got, the formation we have got, the teams that we have beaten in the Champions League last year, this was going to be a breeze. I knew it. You probably know it as well. It's a pretty well-known fact. So, I mean, I'm just going to carry on the highlights because it was an absolute bloodbath. Wharton into Douay, a 3-0 lead, and the goals didn't stop there. Douay thrives in big cup finals. Nketiah down the left-hand side, taking a wide area, a bit of a back heel there, into Wharton, into Decore, into Eze, a little turn, and that is simply lovely. A beautiful finish into the top left-hand corner, and there's time for a last-minute penalty. Finally, some form of European trophy. Carabao Cup, we honestly had a chance to go back-to-back, but sadly, we do lose 3-1 to Liverpool. The FA Cup, I'm going to actually just say we can't do at this point. We have not got past the quarterfinals, I don't believe. This time, a 2-1 loss to Arsenal, but I mean, we've won the Conference League. As long as we have a decent finish in the Premier League, I'm not going to care about this. And we've won the Friendly Cup, so it makes up for everything. A 6-0 win over Genoa. I am joking if you can't tell. But the Premier League, I've had a little glimpse at. It was amazing. Where do you think? 3, 2, 1... bang, second place finish, which is really, really strong. Yes, we are a ton of points behind Man City, but that's not really the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make here is we are second place in the Premier League. We're not in the title race. We are in the title race, but City have got 10 points. 10 points is quite a fair lead. They also have strengthened by adding Vinicius Jr. into their team. So how much did they spend on him? Just the 255 million. Pocket change, really. Literally incredible. Mental amounts of money. Ridiculous money being spent. We spent, what, 3 million on loan fees this year. So what can we do with that? So it's a pretty strong season based off that factor. Dean Henderson is still going to be your top clean sheets. I mean, he's putting in his fair bit of the graft. Ivan Toney at Arsenal. How much did they pay for him? 61 million, quite a fair price tag if he would have got him from Brentford. From the Saudi League, that's quite extortionate, I think. Anyone else that I want to pinpoint here? Osimhen at Liverpool, how much are they? 65, that's a steal. Just Vinicius, that transfer fee has thrown my head off. But a very strong season, 2 trophies, a second place finish in the Premier League, and a budget of 38 million pounds, so quite generous as well. But of course, we now do have, well, I say we've got the pressure of replacing him, but of course, if we go and actually look at that from Douay, by the way, 15 and 13 in what will probably be his last locked-in season, this is now his time to fight for his position. We do have Mika Marmol, so the man that actually wasn't registered to play in that season, now he is registered. He is basically our Gurhi replacement. So at the moment, we have got Marmol, Biomo, Lacroix, Richards, Riyadh, Holding. Oh, we definitely need one more centre-back to actually replace one of those backups and provide something a bit different. 8 Nori, we've got Mitchell. Walker-Peters, we have got Munoz, who must be getting older now. He is 31, so got to bear that in mind. Wharton, Decore, Lerma, Richards, Amada. Maybe a better backup DM. Eze, Douay, Franca, who's not really been doing too much. Probably going to transfer list him, I'll be honest with you. Not really getting a fair run in the team. He's not part of my plans. Nketiah, we've got Mateta as well. Henderson, we've got Petrovic. So a couple of signings that become quite obvious. So another centre-back, another DM. They're going to be the main priority. In a few years, a wing-back upgrade as well for the right-hand side. Yeah, I think it's quite obvious where we have to go. So let's just go and make it happen. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Gurhi, then Nketiah. This time it's going to be to Chelsea. Now I will say 68 million is a big price tag to sell him for. And I'll say it right now, the man we have brought in, we've got a couple of things. A bit lucky, but secondly, we landed the man. He is a big improvement on Nketiah. He's younger and he's already better. So it's not the end of the world. But seriously, Gurhi, Nketiah, what's next? Eze? Everyone's leaving me. But we signed Benjamin Sesko, who is 4 years younger and, in my opinion, a little bit better in the game. And we sign him for 39 million. PSG brought him big from RB Leipzig. He played more games for us this year than what he did in 3 years for the French Giants. And he returned me 28 goals and 3 assists. This is a man that has won me several Premier League titles before, and this guy can do it again. And I can say that for a fact. Permanent deal of Petrovic does go through. It actually was £7 million. Again, purely a backup option, but a very solid one. £13.5 million, we do get our backup DM. That is going to be Dennis, coming in from FC Köln for £13 million. A good average rating, a good first season to be fair. His first time not only at Crystal Palace, but his first time in England. So a bit of an adaptation, for him to actually come into this league. Not guaranteed first team football by any means, and he gets it. So he's proven me wrong and proven himself right. And £7 million, some might say a bad signing. For a backup, I say quite a good signing, considering the price. Very cheap. He technically is a championship player, but you can take that ability with a pinch of salt, because look at the attributes, they're more important. He is a pretty good centre-back. So I think despite losing Nketiah, we have replaced him with a better striker. We've got a good backup goalkeeper permanently now. We've got a good centre-back and a very good DM. I think this is a clear improvement in terms of team. I'll tell you what, we're now only 1 point off winning the Premier League. Man City clench it by a point. Sesko scores the top goals in the Premier League. That is what I am talking about. Talk about living up to the pressure. Nketiah was up there. Sesko isn't just up there, he is there. He is rank 1. Dean Henderson, rank 1. We still are yet to see one player in the assist category, which tells me, do we need to upgrade the AMs or something? Like, what is going on? We've got a top goal scorer. Maybe it is also a factor of the assists come from multiple areas opposed just to wingers. That could also play a part. Let's go and see where our players actually are. Eze is in 6th place, then Mitchell. So that, yeah, it's probably more that our players are just all chipping in than it's a bad thing, to be honest. So genuinely quite a good season there. Champions League qualification again. As for the rest of the competitions, we're going to go through this season quite quickly because it wasn't the best season for trophies. As you can see, runners-up on 2 occasions, 1-0 loss in the Community Shield, and the Carabao Cup, a 1-0 loss against Arsenal. The FA Cup, another quarter-final exit, 1-1 and on penalties, and the Champions League, another stellar performance, but we lose on penalties. So if we can scratch our penalties up a little bit, we could have got to a Champions League final and played Arsenal, who, to put it bluntly, we outclassed in the Premier League. So genuinely, although we've not won a trophy this season, my new signings are working really well. We've got another 2nd place finish in the Prem, a good Champions League display, finalists in the Carabao Cup. It's still a very, very strong talking point. Money-wise, we are going to have, is that 13 million? 11 million pounds to go and spend. So it probably is going to be free agent season, unless we do get an updated transfer budget. But I'm more than happy with this team. Doué does have one last locked-in season. I decided to give it to him to try and just guarantee that he does get into the first team, but he still doesn't. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen there. But on paper, if I actually put Doué in, because he would play, this is the actual first 11. Henderson, Lacroix, Boyamo, Marmo, Walker-Peters, Mitchell, Wharton, Decore, Eze, Doué and Sesko. This front three is outrageous. That can win you a Champions League and a Premier League. The area that I think might need some improvements over the upcoming years is a young, better goalkeeper, maybe better wing-backs, and maybe someone to go alongside of Wharton in midfield. So we still have got a lot of improvement to do. I'm quietly nervous about Doué because I've locked him in for so many seasons and I've been training him as well quite aggressively, and he's not really developing that well compared to what I've seen him do in the past. And when you filter by the best 11, despite getting hardly any game time, Kamada is still the better man. So That's pretty interesting. That is a bit of a worry. So let's go and see what we can do going into Season 6. But so far, as a club, we have worked the reputation up. We have, of course, added a Carabao Cup alongside of one of these wonderful Conference League trophies. The next thing that I want is a Premier League trophy. Oh, we have had a free transfer window, free signings. So 3 of 3 signings. The first one is going to be a man valued at £65 million. And we didn't just get him for profit. We are going to play him. That is going to be Abakar Sela, coming in from Strasbourg. He plays 24 games, drops a pretty decent rating, and I was this close to signing him last season for 33 million. But I knew his contract was coming up. I've played the business game. A player that could cause a threat to Doué, and clearly might do, as he plays 37 games, is going to be Fabian. He comes in with 20 goal contributions. The guy is an elite attacking midfield player, a model citizen, world-class, incredible player, valued at £86 million. If you want to sign him, you're more likely to spend over 100, and we didn't spend a penny. What world would I ever say no to this guy? And lastly, for a backup DM who apparently has played a lot of games actually, is going to be Samu. Now, he might not be here forever. He might get moved on, especially if we get anywhere near that price. But he was on the market for free. We had wage to use up because obviously we cleared a few players as well. To be honest with you, we've not spent a penny, and I think we've actually welcomed in 3 very good players, one being clearly world class. We're back to back in the Friendly Cup, so that's now our thing. The Premier League, we are going to get Champions League football. Benjamin Sesko is still going to be a top goal scorer. Eze finally going to be in the assists, but we have dropped from that second place. But this is no real, it's going to sound mental now, but this is no real different than finishing second place if you look at the points factor, because we're only actually, 4 points off winning the league? There's 3 teams that are joint on the same points. Do you know how mental that is? This is becoming a real competitive race. The FA Cup, I'm not even going to say where we exited because I'm actually getting quite angry. The Carabao Cup is our worst display in years, and exit in the quarter-final against Tottenham. But the Champions League, we get off to a flying start in the round of 16, a 5-0 win over a Champions League qualified side in Brighton. So fair play to them. Quarter-finals, a 4-1 win over Juventus. A semi-final appearance, a 3-1 win over Liverpool. The positive, we're in a final. The negative, we're playing Barcelona. But there was 1 goal in the final, and there was one man that was going to get it, and it's going to be Benjamin Sesko. We are somehow going to be Champions League winners before Premier League and FA Cup winners. That is right, we have won the Champions League in 2029, alongside of the Friendly Cup, which really means nothing when you've won a Champions League, top 4 in the Premier League, but this is what matters, guys. Forget anything else. Champions League. I've got to see it in the trophy cabinet. I've got to see it in there. A Champions League trophy at Crystal Palace before even 2030. How crazy is that? What a time to be alive. What a season. Money-wise, we are going to be given a budget of 27 million, which is more than fair game. But what a team. And I tell you something right now, Doué was actually not locked in, and Doué didn't do much. He played, how many games did he play? He played 3 games, and I tell you what, he has been locked in now for about 4 seasons. That was my effort to make him into this world-class talent. I can't give him the golden boy treatment forever. Fabian comes in 21 and 13. Eze 13 and 16. Sesko 51 and 2. 2 and 13 for 8 Nori. Walker Peters 3 and 9. 4 and 14 for Mitchell. 6 and 15 for Munoz. Mateta 6 and 1. Kamada 8 and 6. 4 assists for Wharton. I can't babysit Doué. I can't do it, guys. I want him to be the golden boy. I want it badly, but I can't sabotage the team around him. And I'm sorry, but if you're looking at it in a harsh way, we've won our biggest trophy without him in the team. Is that a message? I'm not going to say the words, but you look at someone like Fabian. Yes, he's older, but the guy's come in and I hate saying it. He's been better than Doué. He's been better than Doué. I can't say it any other way. So we might now be looking at the new front 3, and it looks dangerous. So let's just say the Petrovic signing didn't work out. He was happy to be back up when he joined. He wasn't when it come for contract renewal. So we don't lose too much money. We lose about 1.7 million, which in the grand scheme of things is quite a small price to pay for the security that we did have having him in the team. But not a signing to remember. We go on to sign Dennis Seaman, coming in from Stuttgart for 77 million. So it's a big price tag to pay. Installments were used, but he kept 19 clean sheets out of 38 games, which is probably going to put him rank 1 in the Premier League. And this is now our goalkeeper for the entire rest of the rebuild. And this is a guy that can win you a Premier League title. He is a world-class goalkeeper at the age of 24. Do you know how good that is for a goalkeeper? You don't really beat it. Champions League, we don't go back-to-back in. I wasn't expecting to, but we actually lose in the semi-final on penalties again. So another scenario. If we were good at penalties, maybe we could have got into the final and beaten Liverpool. So it was close. Premier League, we are going to get into another Champions League place. And this time, again, only a handful of points, less than a handful of points off winning the league title. Benjamin Sesko, your top goal scorer. Munoz and Eze in the assists. Munoz, by the way, 34 years of age, the Premier League top assister. Dennis Seaman, the most clean sheets. We are putting together a Premier League winning team, and it's not now if, it's when we win it, because we are going to win this competition. We're looking dangerous. Sesko is the top goal scorer consistently. We've now got players consistently in the assists, and I do think Dennis Seaman is going to be genuinely, he's going to be the best keeper in the league, and I say that with full chest. First time in the UEFA Super Cup, and we are going to be playing Tottenham. Now, between me and you, I would like to actually win this. A lot of people don't really class this as a big trophy, but I think you've got to have won something in European football to actually, you know, take part in it. So you have to get quite far in football rankings to even win this trophy. So that early goal did mean a lot, but it didn't really mean much after that goes in. An equaliser from Kuleveski. But luckily for us, we seem to be in a better place than Tottenham as of recent times, and Ait-Nouri actually on the right-hand side now from the set piece is going to go alone, cut inside, a ball across into Sesko, and we're going to make it 2-1 before the 60th minute even kicks in. It's a very, very strong start to the second half, with Samu playing it into Munoz, back into Decore. Again, the play here is absolutely lovely, and Eze just can't stop scoring goals. He genuinely cannot stop scoring goals. The guy actually has been so loyal, and last time I said about loyalty, Nketiah left, but he has been such a good player. Munoz down the right-hand side into Kamada, a 4-1 win. So going to win the Carabao Cup again, so you can now make that 2 times in not many years at all, to be honest. I mean, this one was against Everton, so a bit easier, but you can only play who's in front of you. Off to Wembley again for the FA Cup final. That is right, the FA Cup final. Who would have thought it? And we're playing Wigan. So if we are going to win one now, it's against Wigan. Please. We go 1-0 up in 61 minutes, and do you know what? I thought it was going to be a bloodbath from that point, but Wigan get back into the game. Hibbert is going to find Jacobs on the edge, a great ball. I'm not going to take it away from him. It's a lovely ball in the box, and now it is down to us to get back into the lead, which luckily we do with Mika Marmol, a touch inside, and pluck that one out the top right corner. Beautiful from the centre half, and we luckily get a counter-attack towards the end of the game with Walker-Peters. This Wigan team was battered by now. He's just driving alone by himself and even gets the goal. The defenders become goal scorers. That completes a treble-winning season. 2 of the trophies we have not won, so it means a lot, to be honest. Of course, we've won the Carabao Cup before, but it's still a big trophy to win. The Super Cup, FA Cup, Carabao Cup all come back to Selhurst Park. The Premier League, we're still very consistent in, and money-wise, we still have quite limited budgets despite winning 3 trophies, but the debts and loans are still there. But I'm hoping with a couple of more quieter windows, we are going to slowly recover that money situation. And to be honest with you, looking at the team right now, we don't need to go mental with the signings. Like, don't get me wrong, we're now probably approaching the Wonder Kid sort of region of a 10-year rebuild, or the new gens. So you can get them for quite cheap if you go to the right leagues, the right teams, pick up the right players. So, I mean, to be honest with you, apart from the right back, where we now have a bit of an issue of a 34-year-old and Walker-Peters who is getting older, that's quite an emergency replacement needed. Apart from that, we're actually somewhat okay to go again. It's going to be time for Mateta to go, so I am going to most likely bring in another backup striker. He is going to go to Monaco for 3.6 million. Again, we've lost a bit of money on him, but he didn't really play many games at all. And of recent seasons, you know, he hasn't played hardly anything. It's a waste of money having him here. And the same can be said for Sarr. Now, we simply couldn't sell this guy for the fun of it. He's never played a game for us because he doesn't play in our system. And that's just a harsh reality. He's been transfer listed and offered to clubs from season 1. Finally, Monaco take the chance with him. And he has an okay season. So, sadly, his career's gone down the pan. But I promise you now, that's not on me. One is going to be a free agent in Bamba, coming in from Lazio, and you know what, plays a ton of games, and I've got a gut feeling this guy actually played in DM for us, or in the deeper area, because he is probably one of our better options. Now, he is older, but I've not spent any money on him. He's also not on that much per week, and if we want to sell him, we can easily get 60 million, most likely 70 million, and the guy is mentally very, very strong. Physically, the guy's like an ox. He's great at centre-back, great in midfield, and it's not our only signing. We replace, obviously, our backup striker being sold with Santiago Jimenez. He comes in, plays quite a fair few games, 9 goals, 3 assists. Now, I don't know whether that means Sesko wasn't playing, or whether he just played a lot of games as like a backup sort of vibe, because he is not as good as Sesko, and he was definitely not brought in to replace Sesko, but maybe to play a few of the cup games, because he's too good to be a backup option, but he is on the older side, so I didn't expect him to play as many games due to fitness, due to things like that. So, in my opinion, a better backup striker than what we did have, and the addition of Bamba should only improve us. The Premier League, I can tell you what, maybe I've butchered it, because maybe Sesko doesn't play every game now. He's not going to be in the top goal scorers, which is quite annoying to see. Dennis is still going to be the top clean sheets. Eze is going to be up there with the most assists as well. And we are 2 points, not 3, off winning the Premier League. So, again, it's very close, but close doesn't get you a trophy. So we are going to have to still work on that. But it's nice to see we are still being, I mean, if we just have a little glimpse of this, okay, when we have finished, you know, the last few seasons, 2 points off winning it. We are there, 4 points off winning it. This season, we're pretty much, tied. I mean, it doesn't, we're basically, what I'm trying to say is, for a fair few seasons, we have been nothing but simply close. And I think as long as we keep that up and we don't fall off, it's going to happen eventually. Chance to go back-to-back in the FA Cup we do miss out on as we lose 2-1 to Tottenham, but honestly, I'm just happy we got to another final. The Community Shield, we are going to lose to Newcastle. Obviously, we've had 2 chances now to try and actually win that competition. It's just not meant to be. The Carabao Cup is going to be another, I say early exit, it's just we're used to getting to finals in that competition. We are going to lose 4-1 to Palace, so not only beaten, humiliated. But we find ourselves in another Champions League final where sadly we are going to go 1-0 down to Barcelona in 44 minutes. So a lot to do now, and we are currently in the 67th minute with Samu on the ball out wide into Mitchell. A little touch, he's going to drive, carry on driving, and Mitchell is going to make a statement as the starting future left back at this club. A great goal from him, and we now find ourselves 2 minutes after that goal. Eze over the top into Munoz, 35 years of age, back into the middle, into Bamba, and that is going to be a Champions League winning goal. That is right, we win another Champions League. That is now going to be a staggering 2 in 3 years we have won, both against Barcelona. 3 trophies when we play them. They simply cannot beat us. So that is going to be another historic season. It would have been nice to win the Premier League with it, but we can still do that. We have still got 2 more seasons to win the Premier League, which if we carry it on this road, I think we can easily do. What I have got to see is, Sesko still scored 48 goals. So how many games did he play in the Premier League? 34. So he is still playing a lot of games. I have not killed his career. These players in Fabian and Eze are doing wonderful things. Jimenez doing great things. But now, let's talk about the wing-back crisis. So, Munoz is now currently 35. He's got to go. Walker-Peters is currently 34. He's got to go. I'll say it. We need 2 new right-backs. Or 1 guaranteed right-back, and 1 player who can play left-back and right-back, or centre-back and right-back. We need 2 defenders that can play right-back. And that is quite hard to do in one window. but I've done that myself, so let's go and see what we can do. We actually did receive a mega budget, and we have received a mega window. We are going to welcome in De Villa, coming in from Arsenal for a total of 66 million. He plays a bag load of games, 9 assists, drops a 7.22 average rating, and he's a man that can play centre-back and left-back. Now, I imagine, based off the assists, he has either played right-back or left-back. Now, for me, that's a clear first-team candidate. Bit of a cheaper player in 16 million, but we did lock him in at right-back, which tells me that the previous player, 100% played at left-back, is going to be Cáceres, coming in for 16 million. 12 assists in his first season from Real Madrid. A cheap price tag, but you get a player that can cross, decent tackling, very quick on the ball. The thing that I want to improve on him is going to be the work rate, which we can do over time. He's only 24. He can still improve as a player. So going well so far this window. And a player that I hope will be the difference between finishing second and first is going to be Diniz, coming in from Benfica, 45 million, a 7 average rating. Now, he doesn't return the best in terms of goals and assists, but what he does do is just provide me a very resilient, well-balanced, semi-experienced player who's resolute, can do a fair bit, I hope, in the Premier League, really bolsters our midfield, and I just hope that adding a good right back, a good left back, a good DM, that can be the difference in them couple of points that we're missing. But that, I hope so, because we've spent a lot of money. We've spent 122 million. And we have done it. We have won the Premier League. We have won it by a point, so it's very close. Benjamin Sesko, your top goal scorer. We've also got Dennis dropping down to second place, and no players in the assists, so that's interesting. Fabian is going to be your top average rating player, but I don't care who's in the stats. The stat that I care about is winning the Premier League. We have finally done it after nine seasons. We are also going to win the Champions League again against Tottenham on penalties. Our first penalty shootout win is a Champions League final. Absolutely incredible. That is now back-to-back Champions League titles and 3 in 4 years. Beautiful stuff. The Super Cup we are going to win again. Make that 2 in 3 years against Tottenham. Incredible. FA Cup we also win against Swansea. You can make that now 2 times in 3 years. But what is these finals we have been spoon-fed. But I'm not going to complain. 2 times in 3 years. In fact, the only thing we don't win is this Carabao Cup. We have won the quadruple in 2032, and we have the golden ticket to success in Season 10 to win all 5 trophies. That is going to be the aim. Now, I tell you something right now. I am so proud of these new players. What a season. He was actually locked in at centre-back, by the way, and 23 assists, so he must have played some games at left-back to get that amount of assists. But either way, when you look at him in the team, he gets in there now, as does the right-back. This team is absolutely incredible. I couldn't be more thrilled with them. But if you back home aren't satisfied, you're going to be happy because we've got a last budget of 112 million to go and sign more new gens. So this team is going to be looking nuts. Q Season 10. Right, signing one for 44 million is going to be Eden, coming in from Bayern for 44 million, 18 games, drops a 6.95, and is another very well star-studded centre-back. An elite centre-back at the age of 25. He's very quick, got good tackling, good mental attributes, and do you know what? In terms of players that were available on the market, that was still somewhat cheap, because I clarify that price tag is actually quite cheap, he is really a good option, guys, and I mean a very good option. 21 million, I'm going to say we picked up a bit of a bargain Bulgarian, coming in from Fulham. He doesn't do that most in goals and assists, but it's his first time in the team. He is not guaranteed first-team football, but in terms of new gens, he is a very good pickup, okay? Very cheap, not too demanding on the wage. Good passing, good technique, good dribbling. Every stat you would want for an AM, and just adds an option to Eze, Doué, and of course, the big man. And at the end of the day, it's all about depth in these rebuilds. You know, you need a squad, not just an 11. £3 million, I'm going to say another bargain, but this player wasn't actually good enough quite yet to get any game time in the Premier League. He is one for the future and sort of a backup vibe. He's going to be Drew Warburton. A good sort of left back, but of course we have quite a high competitive role in that left back area. We've got a lot of good left backs, so I signed him purely because if I didn't, someone would snap him up for 15 million. And if you're going to carry on this rebuild, you can sell him if you want to, and you could probably get about 40 million, so it's easy money. Last signing of the decade, a £40 million man. A good first season is going to be Fabrizio Silvero, coming in from Arsenal. The guy, the guy's wonderful. I mean, he's got great tackling, great marking, great technique, great first touch, good passing, good positioning, good teamwork, good concentration, good decisions, good everything. The guy has got so many yellow attributes. He's like a yellow flag. He is genuinely incredible, an elite driven midfield player with hardly any cons compared to pros. And the fact he is in this team, I think we can go back to back in the Premier League, and I mean that with utter chest. That's exactly what we do. We finish off season 10 by going back to back in the Premier League, so that is now 2 times we have won the Premier League. Sesko is going to be your top goal scorer. Geordie is going to be your best average rating. That is obviously going to be the new right back that we had. Dennis the most clean sheets, and this time Eze, Geordie and Aït-Nouri are going to be in the top assists. Florian Wirtz to Man City as well. 126 million. That is what is their team must look mental, absolutely crazy. But we've won the Premier League. That's what matters. A little bit sad, but the Champions League, we won't get to a Final Four for the last time, although we have won it 3 times, so let's be a bit humble. Man City beat us on penalties, so we won a final on penalties. I'm going to accept losing a semi-final on it. But we do win again 2-2 over Man City on penalties, and the rest of the trophies went like this. Runners-up in the Carabao Cup 2-1 over Villa in extra time, and the FA Cup a 4th round exit against Brentford. But I mean, overall guys, let's just sit back and actually analyse what we have done, okay? So firstly, money-wise, if you are playing back home, you're going to have 130 million with basically no net debt or transfer debt. You're going to be completely fine. So you're very good when it comes to the finances. You are now part of a 5-star reputation club. That is a big leap. And a potential board takeover, rich finances. In terms of the overview, you have got a trophy cabinet stacked full of trophies, and if you want to carry on this save file, go over to the Patreon, grab the file, use the tactic, and your challenge is to win 5 trophies in 1 season in 3 years. If you do it, send me a screenshot, because one lucky winner, whoever does it first, will receive £5 PayPal. So make sure you get that screenshot sent to me over on Patreon. Now, looking at this, I'm happy with the last season. The season before was technically better, but this season is still very, very strong. The fact we've won the Premier League again, we've left the team in such a good place. I mean, our best 11 now is going to be Dennis, I'm not going to say the name because I'll butcher it, Lacroix, Sela, Aït-Nouri, Bamba, Silvero, Casares, Fabian, Benchev, Sesko. We have genuinely left such a good team for anyone that wants to play, and the only guaranteed position you now need is another backup goalkeeper. That is what you are going to go and need to do. Apart from that, you can strengthen where you want to strengthen. Midfield is pretty much covered now. Maybe another young centre-back. That could be an option. But I mean, genuinely, you could go again. Sign a backup goalkeeper, go into the next season, and be completely fine. So, if you have enjoyed this video, 20% of the amount of fun that I have had making it, make sure you are leaving a like and subscribing. It's completely free and helps me out massively. And also, it just helps the channel out. We can meet new people, get new people in the comments, and the more people, the more fun is the way that I see it. More ideas that we can come up with, more challenges, and, you know, one day if I ever return to streaming, we can do a massive online save. That would be pretty sick, wouldn't it? So be sure to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.